In 2012, a Nigerian startup set out to become the Amazon of Africa. Within just a few years, it was worth over $200 million. Investors were pouring in money, thousands of businesses were selling on the platform, and millions of Nigerians were placing orders for the very first time online. It felt like the future had finally arrived. But just 6 years later, that same company would be sold for around $10 million. A collapse so brutal, it shocked the entire tech ecosystem. This is the rise and fall of Konga. To understand Konga, you have to understand the man behind it, Sim Shagaya. Before Konga, he had already tried something similar, a deal site called Deal Day. But he saw something bigger. Nigeria was changing. Internet penetration began growing. Young people were getting smartphones, and slowly people were becoming more comfortable online. But there was a major problem, the problem of trust. Nigerians didn't trust online payments. They didn't trust delivery. They didn't trust that what they saw online was what they would get after purchase. And that exactly was the gap Konga tried to fill. Konga launched in 2012, starting with just a few product categories. But very quickly, it began to expand, and then came a game-changing move. Instead of selling their own products, Konga opened its platform to other sellers. They created a marketplace. Thousands of small businesses rushed in. Suddenly, Konga wasn't just a store. It became a digital marketplace for Nigeria. By 2014, over 8,000 merchants were already selling on the platform. And that's when global investors started paying attention. Companies like Naspers and Kinnevik began investing millions of dollars. The numbers kept growing. From $10 million, they bumped it up to $25 million, then to $40 million. At one point, Konga was valued at around $200 million. For a Nigerian startup at the time, that was huge. Then came the moments that truly defined Konga: Black Friday. In 2013, something crazy happened. So many Nigerians rushed to the website, so much that it crashed. It crashed for a whole 45 minutes. Think about that. A Nigerian e-commerce website overwhelmed by demand. In just 6 hours, Konga had sold more products than it had sold in the entire previous month. By 2014, Black Friday sales jumped to about $3.5 million. For many Nigerians, Konga became their very first online shopping experience. It wasn't just a platform anymore, it became a habit. But Konga's real genius was understanding Nigerian behavior. People didn't trust online payments, so Konga introduced something revolutionary: payment on delivery. You order online, but you only pay when the item arrives. That single move changed everything. Orders skyrocketed. People who were afraid before suddenly felt safe. Then in 2015, Konga launched Konga Pay, their own payment system. They were trying to gradually move Nigerians from cash to digital payments. And it didn't stop there. Konga also built its own logistics network, KOS Express, because relying on third-party delivery in Nigeria, too risky. Konga was doing something few people realized at the time. They weren't just building a website, they were building an entire ecosystem. But behind all that success, there were serious cracks. First problem was logistics. Delivering across Nigeria was expensive, slow, and unpredictable. The second problem, payment on delivery. Yes, it built trust, but it also created a nightmare. Customers would order items, delivery would arrive, then suddenly customers would say, "I don't want it again." Konga was losing money on failed deliveries. The third problem was competition. Konga had a powerful rival, Jumia. Jumia was expanding aggressively across Africa, and they had deeper pockets, bigger funding, stronger international backing. Then came the biggest issue of all. Konga was not making profits. Despite all the growth, despite all the hype, they were burning cash. By 2017, things started falling apart. Konga laid off a large percentage of its workforce, reports say around 60%. Then came a shocking decision. They removed payment on delivery, one of the very things that made them popular. But at that point, they had no choice. The losses were too much, and in 2018, the final blow. Konga was sold, not for $200 million, not even close. It was acquired by Xenox Group, led by Leostan Eke. The reported price, around $10 million. From $200 million to $10 million. That's a drop of over 90%. Investors lost massive amounts of money. One of Nigeria's biggest startup dreams, it had crashed. So, what really killed Konga? It wasn't just one thing, it was a combination. A business model that depended heavily on trust, but that trust came at a very high cost. A logistics system that was too expensive to scale, a market that wasn't fully ready, and competition that was too strong. Konga tried to copy models that worked in other countries, but Nigeria is different. Infrastructure is different, customer behavior is different, everything is different. But here's the twist. Konga didn't completely die. After the acquisition, Leostan Eke merged Konga with Udala. They shifted strategy from pure online to a mix of online and physical stores, an omni-channel approach, less hype, more sustainability. Konga's story is not just about failure, it's about lessons. It showed Nigerians that e-commerce is possible. It introduced millions of people to online shopping, but it also showed something deeper. That building in Nigeria is not for the faint-hearted. Because here, growth is hard, trust is fragile, and profit even harder. Konga didn't just rise and fall. It came and it changed how Nigerians shop forever.